What up, my freaks? Ruinous Insight here with part 32 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Skulltaker Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, the blood hosts continue to advance from the sort of festering wound that Skulltaker created in the heart of the Empire, essentially moving in every direction and increasing their numbers periodically. We did get a couple of very nice blood host battles last episode, and this episode we shall see. I expect we will have to fight Karl Franz, but by the looks of it, with his recovery, he's got some very strong units, and probably these blood hosts can't handle him alone, so we'll have to figure out how to deal with him. He's also not worth nearly as much essence as he used to be, because only the first time that you kill somebody off, you get the, I guess it was double the essence, but anyway, we only need, I believe, 1200 essence to max out the champion's essence anyway, so it doesn't really matter over much. Anyway. Skulltaker, we're starting with you as we usually do. You're going to continue chasing after Gorbat Ironclaw. I'm going to hope that with 2 stacks here, and by the looks of it, pretty solid ones. I wonder how well the Bloodletters can handle Mangler Squigs. But anyway, hopefully these guys will attack us because they've got 2 full stacks and half a Wa each, so essentially 3 stacks versus Skulltakers alone. Now let's hope that they're willing. Anyway, and Urkathal Corfex, you're supposed to transfer these units to Skulltaker's army, so let's move you here and link up as soon as we can. Alright, Half-Deer Nightbane, you have sailed out and will continue to move. What's the likelihood that Sloppy Crookshank attacks? I'm going to say pretty much non-existent, so we're just going to go here. Sloppy Crookshank's one of the weaker rogue fleets, or whatever these are supposed to be called. I mean, it still calls them rogue armies, but the ones that can't land are rogue fleets, right? Right. Anyway, we'll just leave him alone, because he's one of the weaker ones, along with Gentleman Jenkins. Crimson Beasts. Ooh, Balthazar Gelt, you're fairly close, and by the looks of it, with another army there, that means Gerald Black Raider will get himself another fight. That's what I like to see, and the Crimson Beasts will, of course, reinforce yet again. Still alive, one of our first frickin' blood hosts that we sent all across the sea. They've achieved so much, and that's why they deserve to be enshrined in the community canon. We'll go for Gate of Khorne here. I think we should probably start maxing out that Gate of Khorne. And before we attack, double up on Gate of Khorne as well, and Exalted Hero of Khorne, what are you missing? Let's get your Blade Shield first, gotta get that melee defense up and running. Probably could have gone for Infernal Champion to bump up your attack capabilities as well, but it's fine. Anyway, Balthazar Gelt with 2 stacks. Let's see what we got. Valiant defeat, you say? We do have to watch out for those Hellstorm rocket batteries, and that's a lot of range units, but fortunately, they shouldn't be as concerning as Shades would be. Unfortunately, we do have to watch out for Balthazar's spell spam. Man, I can't believe Gelt has 5 freaking unique items. Most of our lords and heroes all have 1. Gelt has 5. What is this? It's so rude. Anyway, just out of curiosity, what's the spell resistance? 73 on the Forsaken. That's pretty solid. Should still be able to avoid a decent amount of it. Go.
My call has led you here. Your fury will lead you onwards to bloody triumph.
Alrighty, here we go. We fought a big old pile of Imperials last episode, and I guess we're doing it again this episode. I am very excited for this particular battle, especially as it's Gerald Black Raider's relatively untested army. Alright, making their way forward, it looks like, one of the Wrathmongers has been killed by the enemy artillery fire, but fortunately the hill is working in our favor, somewhat protecting our units, and forcing the enemy to damage itself a little bit. This is definitely a danger. I've done this many a time with my own Hellstorm rocket batteries, where they fired into the front ranks of our own infantry. Anyway, away you go, Gerald Black Raider. I like that this army is completely, essentially unsupported. We have... This army is stuck in Cathay. There are no other armies nearby. There are no settlements, no big old piles of settlements, I should say, nearby, as they are on the other side of the world. And it makes sense that it's the frenzied Chaos Spawn and Forsaken army that are like this. Well, with no way to retreat, and they wouldn't want to anyway, they either have to kill or die. Simple as that, and I would wager that Khorne approves. One would have to wonder that if his approval of them was so high, why'd he turn them into Spawn and Forsaken in the first place? Anyway, away we go as we continue making our way through the enemy's front ranks. Gelt is casting spells from up above, but fortunately we do have massive spell resistance. The enemy reinforcements are arriving on the field, kind of moving in down this sort of valley here, just kind of neat. I've always loved Cathayan maps ever since they've been released. Cathayan maps are really neat. There's always a lot of good stuff. And our own reinforcements are actually arriving in a very kind of useless place. They'll have to go all the way around, and we might not even bother using them here. But anyway, while Gelt continues to refuse to land and drop spells down from above, our Forsaken and Chaos Spawn and Blood Beasts overrun his lines. Obviously, the Blood Beasts are focusing down the enemy cav, whether it be the Empire Knights or the Outriders or Pistoliers or whatever, which they're doing fairly well by the looks of it. And most of the enemy cavalry are gone, while most of the enemy infantry have been overrun by our frenzied infantry. Gelt continues to drop those searing doom spam upon us. And, well, he clearly did some damage here, but once again, 73 spell resistance, as well as 9% ward save as well. Alright, well done to the Forsaken and the Chaos Spawn. We have to reposition ourselves as the enemy's reinforcements are here. They are moving in a column, though, which is probably not so great for them, as it's going to be a little bit more difficult to set up all their range units. In addition to that, one thing this army does have is access to a fairly decent number of summonings in the form of bloodletters as needed. Oh, and that looked like that Searing Doom did very little damage. Oh, it looks like it hit 2 units of Chaos Spawn by and large, and, well, they're not going to be super vulnerable to it anyway. Anyway, time to charge towards the new arrivals. Get them to blob up as much as we can, and then as soon as they are, get to the summons in directly behind them. So A, their range stops firing, and B, they cannot run. Alright, Forsaken versus Halberdiers here, but the Forsaken have already shown that they can clear the basic Imperial infantry decently well. Ooh, and that's a Searing Doom. I'm willing to bet that that hurt Gelt's own allies a lot more than it hurt us, because Imperial infantry are not going to have nearly as much spell resistance. And here comes our first Gate of Khorne, summoning a unit of Bloodletters behind the enemy, as well as the Summon from Beyond, summoning a second. Our Blood Speaker, as well as our 2 units of cultists will move their way forward, trying to get closer to the enemy and summon more bloodletters behind them. Can't run, can't fire, you're trapped between Forsaken and demons, and this is probably not a place you want to be. The bloodletters move on the field and immediately get hit by Gelt, but I don't think that's going to be that helpful. Murderous exhortations come down from our Blood Speaker, and the enemy has been corralled into a sort of, I don't know, kill box, as it were. Or kill ring, I guess. We've hardly maintained a formation here. And there we are with that. The enemy decides to retreat. Gelt is fine, never having dropped down from the heights, and will escape on his Pegasus, but that's alright. We didn't have our reinforcements, and by the looks of it, we didn't even need them. Beautiful fight, Gerald. Alright, there we go. Gerald, Black Raiders, Forsaken, and Chaos Spawn proving their worth and obliterating the 2 stacks belong to Balthazar Gelt without the need for the Crimson Beasts to help them out. Which, once again, I feel does make sense in the sense that I feel like the Forsaken and the Chaos Spawn really wouldn't wait. Balthazar Gelt got 0 kills and 3,000 damage. Looks like all that spell resistance that we have did did tell, and frankly, the type of formation that the enemy was forced into by the map wasn't doing them any favors, so sucks to be them, I suppose. Balthazar Gelt has a defeat trait that gives us 10 armor, unless I'm mistaken. It's either 5 or 10. And some armor to the entire army. 6, okay, it was neither 5 nor 10. Okay, well, it must be 10 in SFO, right? Oh, I can't believe it was either 5 or 10, but anyway, at least the armor thing was right. It gives our Forsaken an even 140, which puts them on par with Chosen in terms of their armor, but they still have no defense and very little armor-piercing weapon damage as well. But that's what the Chaos Spawner's sort of here for, with 51. Still not enough, but, well, between them and the Wrathmongers, we are still okay for armor pierce. Anyway, this is a defeat trait that we did want on Skulltaker, because it's more important on Bloodletters than it is on the already reasonably heavily armored Forsaken. Mercy has a Juggernaut. Do we keep you on the Juggernaut, or do I like you better on the Steed? The Steed gives you significantly more speed at the cost of a bunch of stats. But I feel like the Juggernauts have issues with their movement, so I'm going to keep you on your Steed for now. Anyway, Gerald Black Raider, hunt down Gelty, who ran away rather than fighting, and destroy what remains of this. And heal up. Chase down Thyrus von Raukov, and I guess we can raise Li Zhu as well so that we can get another Blood Host up and running here. This is the only army here after all. Wow, we still get 11,000 gold just for this. All of those buildings we built up all over the place. Hey, another Icon of Endless War. Not bad. What is in Li Zhu in terms of defenses? Basically nothing. Can the Crimson... Oh, we should really use a Lord to do it. At the same time, we should move you towards the Lee Temple instead, so let's just ignore it. Alright, Crimson Beasts, raise the place, I guess? Yes. And Blood for the Blood God. Lovely. These are still stupidly expensive, but it still works nicely. Wrathful Hunters, and I guess we'll move these guys up northward so that they can, I guess, protect Fu Chao. We don't have, once again, we don't really care about Fu Chao at all. It's just nice to have at least one base in this territory. Though I do see green territories down here, unless we encounter iron or something that is actually quite useful to us. Well, Cultist Enclave, Obsidians, more spell resistance for everybody. It did counter Gelt, why not have even more? 73, Chaos Spawner, and also at 73. I just want to see if everybody's even. Yeah, everybody's even, so no bonuses. Alright, well, that was fun. Let's continue. Slaughter Host. Who are you guys? You guys are these guys, okay. Who is the biggest and the heaviest army? I'm gonna say Scarlet Hunters, so let's have you hit Teotihuacan. And there's... what was your name? Oniweni? Yeah, Oniweni. Where the heck is Kroggar? We haven't seen him and we've destroyed a bunch of his stuff. A bit odd, but anyway. We're gonna keep Teotihuacan for ourselves, or Teotihuacan, whatever. Auto-resolve this. Assuming that all 4 armies will reinforce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, auto-resolve. It's gonna heavily damage us, but once again, we don't really care. And we'll occupy the place. Like so. Alright, and soon these guys will become non-viable, but that's just fine. We will want to get a defense here because we don't really want to deal with it afterwards. Trophy racks, and I guess you can keep the baleful layer just because I'm too lazy to do anything about it. Alright, who is up next? Slaughter... oh, that's all you guys. Well, I guess you can start moving this way. We should probably occupy the Cursed Jungle as well because of the casualty replenishment and hit points provided by the medicinal plants, and then that'll put us on the way to destroying the Serpent Coast and knocking Kairos out for good, which is probably the more important thing to do. And Doom Reavers. All of you guys with Kuchar. Alright, so you're gonna land at Bordelot there, Kuchar, in March stance. You're just short. Alright, that's fine. Skull Harvesters, Crimson Beasts. I mean, frankly... I mean, we could send them in different directions after they all land, so let's just get them all over here. Frankly, the Doom Reavers are such an insignificant force that it's probably not necessary to move them, but whatever. Alright, Crimson Eaters and Bone Reapers. Let's have you both land at Longyi. Aluan is rebuilding his really close victory against... okay. Auto-resolve is being wacky once again, but what can you do? I would like you to land, I guess, on this side, maybe? Maybe both of you together will not be a close victory anymore. There we go. Decisive, still heavy damage, but better than it was. Occupy, please. Wait, do we actually want to occupy this, or do we want to maybe sack it? Nah, just occupy it. I want to keep the port up and running because, well, we're here. And go for 3-headed scent hounds. Build some defenses here. Once again, we're probably not really holding any of this territory. It's just that, you know, while we're here. A vision and all that. And Silostra, she's moving down this way rather than confront us directly, eh? Cowardly. Tremendously cowardly. You probably don't want to suffer attrition. How much attrition do you even suffer? Not a lot. Is this her last territory? Yeah, it looks like she's going to abandon Shroktag Mountain in order to move towards us at Hrothgar Spire, but, well, I don't see how we would avoid that anyway. Anyway, you, Slaughter Beasts, are moving towards Clarkarond, and you guys are going to do the same thing. I assume that these guys don't have any further armies, so it doesn't really matter either way. I do also wonder where Be'lakor is going to go from here. Who's he at war with? He's at war with just Alethanar and nobody else. That's kind of funny. And the reason I find that amusing, I wonder how much the monoliths are worth to you.
Stay in the shadows. And we might
Not a lot yet, but we might be able to trade the monoliths to him to just vassalize him just because we can. I mean, yeah, we could teleport up here and kill him, but frankly, with him being as weak as he is in terms of his army, he's kind of not worth the effort. Minus the fact that Bell of the Ball is a great trade. I'll think about it. Either way, we can't do anything about it right now, so it's irrelevant. Volnir Dahl, you know what, screw the attrition, just move as close to Shroktag Mount as you can, and see what Silostra does. I guess we'll move the Wrathful whatever's back towards Hrothgar Spire. They won't be able to defend, but maybe that'll keep Silostra out of it. You know what? Wait. You leave here. We will get a... let's say Chaos Lord, somebody who can fight. Control, attribute, fear. Okay, those are all terrible. And nonetheless, get a evil eyeball one, like so. Not on the chariot, but on the juggernaut. And let's go skills, Khorne marked, burning brand. We're gonna delete this guy right after. It's just temporarily. We'll do this, and we'll build you some. I don't know. I guess Chaos Warriors of Khorne with probably shields, just because it can hold ground a little bit longer, and hopefully take a few shots from Silostra's minions there, which means you can go into Chaos Vanguard to buff them up. And I guess make yourself harder. A voice of the Dark Gods, rather than, you know what, maybe Thick Skin might be more valuable than Deadly Blade, as once again we do have to worry about getting gunned down. Alright. Not that we care about the territory for like the millionth time. And, ooh, I got an army here. Hello. Okay. I assume we could just auto-resolve this. We already fought one of these armies with these guys, and I don't imagine we need to fight another one unless it's got insane units in it. Which I doubt that it does. These guys have to be running out of armies as well. And Pyrrhic Victory, I don't think we care. Let them go. Alright, and these blood hosts are gonna be non-viable soon. Maybe if we send them around to the Suntree Glades, they can destroy the... Oh, we have to go around this way? Alright, fine. They can raise it and then make use of it. You go down to Talaqua Town. Let's see if there's any other armies here. I think there was one being constructed. Aha, there was you. Hey, Talisman of Preservation, very nice find. We've been wanting one of those. Occupy the place. And Domination Campaign Victory. Oh, wow, time sure does fly. Turn 55. Domination Campaign Victory, which usually takes quite a long time. That's 272 provinces raised, sacked, whatever. I don't remember what the exact number is, but it usually takes a long. I wasn't expecting this in a shorter campaign, like for an Archaon level campaign or a Karl Franz level campaign. Somebody that, you know, goes for 60 plus episodes, 80 plus episodes, whatever. This one at episode 32 and turn 55 to reach Domination Victory. Damn, blood hosts really are crazy OP, aren't they? But anyway, this may be a victory, but it's not our victory, so we will continue campaign at least for now.
Khorne is
But it does mean maybe next episode will be the final episode. I'll think about it. We're certainly very nearly there to the end. Nice to reach it. And I do want to just double check what the... Yeah, it's 272. Damn. Alright, well, I mean, we reached long campaign victory on turn like 20-something, I think, so yeah. Huh. So does it feel like the music? Huh. It feels to me like the game music got louder, like way louder. I hope it isn't deafening everybody, because it feels very loud to me. I could be wrong, but anyway. Doom Fiends are just gonna move past Antok towards Orion's camp. I'm gonna send you around this way. Hey, collected a free skull pile. And by and large, ignoring those. Alright, and who's up next? Skinnerath the Murderer, who never managed to get himself a fight yet. Go into the Mysterious Island, please. Let's go for Power of Rage, I guess. Mathland's Blessing out of 25% physical resistance for those flyers. Now the question is where to send you. These guys are done. These guys will be done by the time you get there. I fear that we might not be able to fight anybody. Maybe we can cross the water and fight in Sartosa. Though I guess the issue there will be that we still are looking to get Bloodthirsters in this army because the flyers aren't complete. Though it is nice to have all those Lamasu. Anyway. For now, keep it there. Ooh, Scarby. Scarby, you're gonna head to this shipwreck, grab it, then go into Lashik and then head down towards Kofur. Explore the island, I'll resolve this real quick. Doesn't really matter what happens here. We'll heal right back up and see if this gives us any kind of army buff, although I guess the Mysterious Island would have been the more likely to give us a buff. Hey, perfect vigor for Scarby, I'll take it. I certainly will. And, you know what? While we're damaged, maybe that means these guys will be a little bit more willing to fight, so... Let's do that, let's do Mushroom Stew, and Curse of Cannibalism regen for everybody, including Scarby, and we heal here. Now these guys maybe will be able to reach us. I imagine that they can reach Al Haik though, so we probably shouldn't stay here and fight, and if they want to occupy it, maybe we let them. Head to Martek instead. Frankly, if this army gets destroyed, it really doesn't matter, because it was just one of those armies that we picked up, and this guy's only level 17. Compared to all the level 50s we have, completely irrelevant. Maybe I should have raised this into a blood host. Whatever. Not a big deal either way. Alright, what's up next? Monuments of Rage right there, and onward and upward. Let's keep going. Who are you again? Alright, these guys. Skinnerath the Murderer, stay where you are. The Doom Feasters, you too are supposed to land at Lyonesse, so let's do so. And continue. Really? Pyrrhic Victory? It's just Graveguard and Skeletons. It's kind of shocking, but okay. We still have 2 things to max. Well, we still have 3 objectives for the end of the campaign that we haven't achieved. Objective 1, max out the cloak. We are 400 essence short. Objective 2, max out the skull throne. We need 1 more ritual to max it out fully, so we're nearly there. And then, of course, our final objective, the one that we decided early on in the campaign, which was to acquire the heads of all of the mono-god greater demons, or exalted greater demons, so we still have to get Kugath, assuming that he's still alive, which I'm not sure about. And I guess get the growth, not that it really matters. Alright, we'll obviously raise the minor settlements here, just wanted to make sure that we had a landing. Alright, and actually I just want to check, is Kugath alive, or is he gone? Looks like the Nurgle corruption is still there. In the entire province, so it looks like these guys are either embroiled in a permanent war, or maybe like they're probably each own half of the province. I assume. I guess we'll see. Hopefully Kugath is there. Anyway, Red Harvesters. You guys were the ones that were watching Be'lakor, but at this point, if we ignore him, it doesn't really matter. Head to Circle of Destruction. We may or may not attack Nagorond. But I feel like we gotta stop pushing north at some point. Maybe we find one really good battle for this army. We shall see. No guarantees. Arbol, you're headed to the Challenge Stone. And I guess Troop Ferry... Oh, Tamarkan's back, though not for very long. Because I don't think we need to fight him again. Yeah, compared to the army that he had before with all those chosen, this is kind of irrelevant. And we will, however, give the Rampage a standard to, I guess, one of the Knights. And we should get a standard of some kind for our ball. Actually, because the charge isn't that high, but frankly, the charge of regular Chaos Knights is quite low, or at the very least, this variant of Chaos Knights, the Sword and Board variant, so there is that to consider as well. Anyway, Troop Ferry, you're going to reinforce by moving like so. You don't really need to ferry any more troops, but at least not for now. We will want you to get Skull Crushers for our ball, but I'm not so sure that we'll ever be able to, so who knows. It's still going to be a bunch of turns until we attack 2 of them, and I mean, let's face it, we've been using Blood Crushers and occasional Chaos Knights and stuff, and not that big of a difference. How to resolve and say farewell to Tamarkan. He gave our ball a heck of a fight, so great job to him. Occupy the place at tier 3. Charmed Shield, Chaos Steed for somebody, Maggot Host destroyed, Chimera Plateau ours. How dare they not follow Khorne? Monuments of Rage, and then we'll need defenses here just in case. We already have the trophy chamber, so we'll go for the Forge. Alright, lovely. And hey, hello, another proper potential fight for our ball. I mean, he defeated Tamarkan if just barely, and not in a one-on-one. I mean, Grimgor is certainly a good option. I'd also like to vassalize it. -1. Oh, right. Our reliability is low, so the likelihood of actually vassalizing any other Chaos Dwarfs is pretty unlikely, let's say. But anyway, Hexus Slaughter Call. Yeah, there's no way you're getting across the sea. Switch to going to Catha. Don't know if you'll be able to reach it before the end of the campaign, but give it a shot. Wrathful Eaters. What are you guys again? Oh, right, you two. I guess you can loop around to go to Grenstad. Yeah, why not? Go like this and move together. Hopefully they'll both be able to cross the water next turn and then head directly for Grenstad, although a lot of those ogres are sticking around, so we'll still have to watch out for them. Have not moved all of you yet, huh? Alright, go up here. Hit Nashrek's lair, and oh, look at that. Hey, Hungrim's back, and still building by the looks of it a decent stack, despite the fall of Karakadren. A little bit concerned about him going down to Zufbar, which can't defend itself, so we're gonna have to send this army there, even if it isn't complete as yet. But what can you do? Anyway, the Skull Fiends, the Skull Friends. You go here, close to Karak Ungor, and then you go up here to Karak Araziak. I wonder if these guys are gonna take Karak Ungor. It's not really defended and they are at war, so there is a distinct possibility. A Red Host, raise Beckhofen. Although, you know what, you might want to move the others to reinforce, then we'll send these guys out afterwards to sort of position themselves to obliterate Kislev. Especially the undefended territories of Kislev. You go here, and I mean, we could go after Draika, but she's basically destroyed anyway. Hardly matters, you can go after Krudenwald, her last territory. And you guys can move together. And I guess raise another Bloodhouse. Not resolve, especially considering these guys will continue suffering damage as long as they're fighting not together. Alright. Who else do we have? Gorehounds, I don't remember who you are. Oh, right, the guy's being chased by Belagar and stuff. Well, we'll allow them to get destroyed. Like so. And then raise a Bloodhost. And they're too far from each other, unfortunately, and you can't move any further. Oh well. Not a big deal, the Gorehounds will be destroyed and then they'll go after the Scarlet Hunters, but presumably they will suffer damage going after them, and even if they don't, then we'll just keep moving. Oh, I see Skaven are at Montfort. Can't have that, there's iron there. Not that we really need it, but, you know. Why not? Wrathful Hunters and alright. A likelihood of fighting Karl Franz here, I would say, is... let's see what we have here. He's in march stance, and we could fight him again. This hardly matters. I mean, do we want to see more Bloodhost battles? I mean, it's not a bad fight, but we did fight Carl already, and with a significantly stronger armor. Remember, he had all of these demigriffs, and, like, 3 times as many tanks. Certainly he has landships this time, but kind of meh on it. And just because it's Bloodhosts, I think we don't care. I mean, since the campaign is essentially basically over, I more so want the armies that haven't had the chance to ever fight to actually get to fight, so... And especially that since Carl has actually suffered his defeat already to Skulltaker. You go away, you are probably non-viable. Probably not able to attack Emperor Bad. We still have to take Nuln, so we need another Bloodhost here. Anyway, keep on moving. As long as we have skulls, we might actually have to skulls for the Skull Throne a few places because we're starting to, maybe not drop so much in terms of skulls, but, you know. We'll run out eventually. And anybody else? The Red Harvesters, who are you? Alright, you guys, you were supposed to attack the Wizard Caliph's palace. We could skulls this place up, but it is tier whatever. Let's see how much skulls this will offer us. 37k, it's not bad. It's not like we care about the place. Skulls. Nice. And then it'll occupy itself, and you... might not be needed anymore, in the sense that... Well, I guess we'll start moving you up here. I don't know whether we'll bother sending you all that way, but we'll see. We'll see. Anybody else need to do anything? The Doom Masters. You will continue moving towards the dwarfs just in case. I don't know whether it'll be needed, but we're getting there. And I don't know who Barbaros Zorateller is. Oh, right, you're supposed to join Arbol because he wants a couple of the Exalted Heroes. And Huntsmaster Khorne is, of course, supposed to join the Blood Hunt. Alright. And I believe we've got an end turn. Are there buildings to build? Nope. Alright. Huron on move, building upgrade available, cult upgrade available, and turn. Okay, there was a building upgrade available, but I'm gonna ignore it. Alright, we'll give a chance for one of the enemies, wherever they are, to actually attack us somewhere. Unfortunately, we are basically out of time, but if the end turn gives us a battle, I'd be willing to fight said battle. Hopefully, Gorbad will go after Skulltaker with his, 2.5 to 3 stacks. Why don't you like us? Oh, you don't like the fact that we killed the Maggot Host. Now you want a non-aggression pact. I don't know, man. I don't know. We could have Zatan duel Arbol. There will always be fights about... Ooh, what is this? Oh, right, it's just these guys. I don't care about this. Alright, and by the looks of it, the army will be too weak to continue. Gorbad, Ironclaw Orcs? Yes, they will indeed attack, and we've got plenty of enemies. 4 giants to their name, tons of Manglers, Squigs, Black Orcs, Gorbad himself, of course. It looks pretty fun to me. Go.
Chosen, the murder god's own sacred executioner. Today, his eye is on you. Show him prowess.
Alright, here we go. Skulltaker versus Gorbad. This should be really, really fun. And just to keep it as fun as we can and hopefully minimize the possibility of a desync, we're not going to move forward and have them duel out here, or to send the entirety of our army forward to kill off as many of the first army as we can. Instead, we're going to sit back and allow the enemy to blob and get all of its armies together to hit us all at the same time. Skulltaker will do a little bit of damage to the enemy army, however, knocking out a few stone trolls rather quickly here. And it looks like some spiky rollers move in to annoy him as well. Probably a bad idea, as their fragility will mean that one gets knocked out with every blow from Skulltaker. That said, I suppose maybe this isn't such a bad idea, depending on how fast... Ooh, I like the shadow of the Spirit Leech. Depending on how fast somebody attacks... If only one spiky roller is killed, this is a lot of damage that's being wasted, right? It's a lot of overkill. 968 damage on one unit of spiky rollers. It's not such a bad idea, especially considering they had 12 units to block Skulltaker in this manner. And they did, by the looks of it, do some damage, or maybe it was the troll. Yeah, it was the trolls, not the rollers. Anyway, the enemy's reinforcements are here, all 3.5 stacks, and they march towards our battle line. We're going to let them hit us, and we're going to hold best we can, anyway. And it looks like an enemy giant is moving towards us, so we do have a second duelist in this army now in the form of our exalted hero of Khorne. And it looks like the giant wants to kill off those hell-forged bellowers. We're gonna back it off and try to get to our formation, and maybe try to get towards this giant as well. Where are you gonna run, giant? Skulltaker is coming in from this side, and their exalted hero is coming in from the other, or was, until Skulltaker decided to move in. Looks like the giant does not want to fight Skulltaker at all. He's completely ignoring him in favor of... He's completely tunnel visioned on this skull cannon. That's kind of interesting. Huh. I wonder why the AI is doing that. It's kind of curious. But the AI is generally kind of annoying in that. But anyway, since the giant doesn't want to fight directly, we'll send in both of these guys and block the giant off instead, forcing it to sit still as we tear it apart. At least until the second enemy, or until the rest of the enemy force actually gets here. Looks like another Spirit Leech has hit Skulltaker. He's been taking a fair few of those, but he has maximum spell resistance, so they don't really do all that much damage. In fact, I'm curious. He's got 5 more seconds of Spirit Leech and 7,102 HP. How much damage will it do? Yeah, not a lot, not a lot. Alright, so less than 30 damage. Lovely. Well, that's what maxing the spell resistance does for you. Anyway, stone trolls have arrived and have smashed into our Hellforged host, who we have actually positioned on the left flank here. Why the left flank? Simply because that it is the most dangerous position for our entire army. Now, this flank is protected by the impassable terrain here, but the Hellforged host will likely get hit by flankers and by direct attacks, and by the looks of it, by Gorbad himself, which means that they need to be in the most dangerous position, and why we keep them here with as much support as we can. Gorbad charges forth, ignoring Skulltaker as well, but maybe that's okay, considering that it might allow us to have a longer battle without any desyncs until Executor is active. Looks like he will charge in some Savage Orc Boar Boys. Oh, I like their war paint with the red color scheme. Looks quite nice. A little bit of red on red with a little bit of green. Very festive sort of battle. It's still Christmas season in Warhammer, and here come the Black Orcs with a similar sort of bright red color scheme. Very matchy with the Khorne skies as well. But the Black Orcs with sword and board will probably lose handily to the phlebotomists here, to the Exalted Bloodletters. Entire battle line is now engaged against all 3.5 armies, and we'll see if they can make their way through. Ooh, Mangler's Squigs, with their anti-infantry capabilities, will probably be able to do quite decently here. 16 bonus versus infantry? We'll see what their numbers look like by the end of the battle. Trying to hold back the tide now, and ooh, this side. On the right flank we have enemy trolls, 2 units of enemy trolls, as well as a giant attacking 1 Blood Reaper, as well as a couple of units of those Bloodletters. Unfortunately, not enough units to actually kill off those larger units, which is going to make it difficult on this flank. Battle balance of power, however, has shifted in our favor as the enemy is starting to get weaker. Gorbad's down to about 10% of his HP, though has not yet been executed by Skulltaker. But by the looks of it, and the fact that he didn't even want to try attacking Skulltaker in the same way that Karl Franz didn't even want to try, the AI knew that he had no chance at it. And by the looks of it, Gorbad is broken and will attempt to run away. He does have another war boss here who... Oh, okay, well now that... Or Black Orc Big Boss here, who also suffers a big old blow from Skulltaker, even as he tries to cover for Gorbad. Not good enough, however, as the Black Orc Big Boss drops, and by the looks of it, Gorbad will be on his way out rather shortly, if we can actually get to him through the press of units. Down he goes, I think executed by one of the Bloodletters. Very, very nice. Our line remains. We are still holding. Enemy reinforcements are still arriving on the field as well. It's just due to the sheer number of enemy units available to them. But we're looking pretty good. Big old pile of Black Orcs joined by Savage Orcs and all that, but also being hacked apart by our Exalted Bloodletters. We have suffered a little bit of damage on the right flanks here, as by the looks of it, we're at about 50% and lower on various units of Exalted Bloodletters due to the various giants and trolls that these guys had to deal with. A little bit lacking in terms of anti-large in this particular army, as we essentially have to use our Blood Reapers to deal with giants when they're in numbers like this, and, well, by the looks of the HP, the Blood Reapers ain't that great against them. They ascend with their melee defense down at 30, by the looks of it, that while they can hit and damage the enemy giants fairly well, that's not going to stop the giants actually hitting them, and the giants hit pretty darn hard with 752 weapon strength. Anyway, we continue advancing towards the enemy. More Mangler Squigs moving here. I love the Mangler Squigs. They're so fun to watch. Can't wait to play SFO Greenskins. Just make just ludicrous piles of these guys. And oh my lord, there are a lot of Bloodletters melting away. Oh, we're gonna have to back these guys up. Damn, little Skulltakers. 3 units of Mangler Squigs absolutely ripping into them. We're probably also in desync time now because the Executor has probably killed off at least 1 unit. And thus some units might die that don't need to, although these guys are still holding. 47, 46k, we really need to reinforce them. Battle is nearly ours, though. The balance of power has shifted to about 70% in our favor. I'm just watching the Mangler Squigs and their gobos fly around. Alright, here come more Bloodletters. We're going to have to try to back the little Skulltakers off so that they survive. 35 units remaining, and it looks like they remain alive. Giant River Troll Hag is surrounded and about to die as well. And then we can hopefully switch to moving towards those Mangler Squigs. We're still jumping. you can still see them jumping over the hill. Man, what a hectic unit. Alright, and by the looks of the battle is nearly ours, but the reinforcements are still here, and there's still reinforcements to make it onto the field, but army losses will tell eventually, especially as the enemy continues losing units. And, ooh, a final blow. It looked like it was a final blow. Come on, Cormac Doll. One more hit on the giant. There you go. Alright. And still Mangler Squigs, still mangling, but by the looks of it, not for long, as they're starting to explode, not in a good way. And one last Wah activation by the enemy army, by the looks of it, some river trolls and regular trolls, or actually stone trolls, moving in. And the enemy had a lot of trolls in these armies. A lot, but not enough. And we're getting some great battles towards the end of this campaign. I'm glad we came down here to deal with Gorbad. It also feels appropriate that Skulltaker has killed at least one of this DLC's lords. I do wish that we had managed to find Golgi, but the Man-Eaters were destroyed before we could, so oh well. What can you do? All you can do is run down whatever greenskins you can, and we can probably do so with gusto, as the enemy army will shatter and give the battle to us. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I think there was another one. 9 units that just made it onto the field were unable to get into the fight, but these were basic orc boys and gobos and savage orcs left over from the 4th Wah, and thus would not really have contributed much to the fight anyway. We clearly suffered some damage, though. A few of our units of Bloodletters got heavily damaged by both the giants and those Mangler Squigs, and it was great to watch. Ooh, alright, that was great. I hope the desync wasn't too bad for that fight, cause, I mean, fighting nearly 4 stacks with Skulltaker was just so darn fun. And Gorbad leading them. Very, very nice. As for the winners, in terms of kill count, 22, not 24k, phlebotomists, yeah, 196 kills and 24k damage. Phlebotomists will win this round. Very nice. I like that a lot of the... Just taking a look here, I think every single one of the named... bloodletters has it, or exalted bloodletters has at this point gotten a highest kill count in a battle, so lovely. I guess we'll take the skulls because we're actually using skulls now. And Kemmler will want to peace out. That's adorable, but that's obviously not going to happen. And we're obviously also out of time. Durthu is trying to chase down the Scarlet Hunters. If you guys back off, will he still be able to reach in? No. Alright, we'll use them to raise another blood host nearby. We'll see if Durthu gives chase to them after. And what is this? Garrulous Soul Thief. Who are you? Oh! You're already ascended? That was quick. Sure. Replace with a Demon Prince. Just out of curiosity, because I like to see these. Hey, unearthly reflexes. An actual good trait, unlike the Burning Body ones. Now we just have to hope he doesn't die, because Kotep is right there. In fact, I'm thinking that maybe we want to delete him so that he doesn't die, because we might use him if we need another army. Anyway, enemy killed in battle, 1 billion of them. Ally mission successful. Gone bad, Ironclaw, recruit rank +1, and leadership board. Oh, terrible. At least for us. Creator. Potion, another potion of healing. Nice. Khorne Zealot, Land of Assassins. Sure. Oh, that was fast with the Wizard Caliph spells. We took it and then it immediately became ours. Lovely. Monuments of Rage. And that is it. Damn. I keep waiting for the Helm of Dreiska either to kill Skulltaker, I shouldn't jinx it, I shouldn't have said that, oh no, or to give him his trait, or for either of the 2 purple elvish swords, Deathsinger and Doomsinger, to activate their chance to gain a trait. Neither one, none of those have activated yet. Granted, once again, we're only on turn 56, but nonetheless, it's the principle of the thing. I've been saying that a lot. Anyway, with that, we're out of time, and I'm calling it here. So this episode went much longer than the end of the campaign warranted. And oh, damn, they had another army. We'll have to send Bearwin their way then, because they probably won't be able to defend. Maybe if we sit in a waddle, they could defend it for a turn or so. But it's hardly surprising that the Greenskins have 1 billion armors in A. Oh no, it's only 20. I thought it was finally Krokgar showing up, and where the heck is he? A proper duel for Skulltaker is what we want, and Skulltaker can teleport in 1 turn, so we gotta either find Krokgar and teleport it to him or teleport somewhere else. Imrik is another option. We could also teleport to Skarsnik to make sure that he doesn't destroy the Disciples of Hashut. This is a decent option because it will allow us to move southward towards the Dragon Isles, but it will take a while to get there. Although, depending on how many enemies there are, we could bounce between them for a fair bit. Anyway, those will all be questions raised next time, so stay tuned for more Skulltaker. All glory to the algorithm, likes and comments below, etc., 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 and thanks for watching.